Hello, we're back. I'm Johnny Freeborn. I'm your host of Central Valley Talk Business, and here I have George Leddicotte here to talk about tax solutions.
That's right.
And that applies to us normal folks who don't quite know when the deadlines are and things like that. We look to you to help figure things out for us.
Very
right?
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit.
Well, the first deadline that you need to be worried about is October 17th.
Oh,
That's
right around the corner.
the last time for individuals to file their taxes on time for this year. Now, in order to have done that, most people will have filed an extension back in April to say, I wanted a 6-month extension. So this is when the 6-month extension is running out.
So for those procrastinators like me,
you need to get busy and get it done. If you don't file on time, you're subject to up to a 25% penalty for not filing on time.
Interesting.
So, a lot of people will say, oh my goodness, I can't pay my taxes. I can't afford them. So instead they say, well, I just won't file. Well, that's probably the worst thing to do. If you go ahead and file your taxes, you are being compliant. You have met the code of the tax code and done that. Then there are ways to work out ways to file your taxes. You can do an installment plan. You can do an offer in compromise, which is a way that if you're financially strapped that you can perhaps pay a lesser amount of taxes. And there are other methods to deal with that. And yeah, there are some penalties for not paying in full. There's some interest, but why do you want to hit the 25% penalty when you start out?
Yeah, I see. Now, your business is called Tax Solutions?
It's SBA Accounting and Tax Solutions.
SBA Accounting and Tax Solutions. Do we have a link to that we can post? No, sorry.
No, we don't have, our website is www.sbataxhelp.com.
Okay, great.
So that people can go there. We practice general accounting as well as tax planning, tax preparation, and tax problem resolution. The tax problem resolution is the area that I concentrate on to when somebody gets a letter from the Franchise Tax Board, IRS, opposed to just the common practice of tossing it aside and not opening it.
Yeah.
You need to open it and decide what it is they want. Maybe they just want some information. Maybe they've said, hey, we don't think you filed properly. Then you need to come to a tax resolution specialist who then can help you work through the process.
Okay, and so you're here to help folks that don't know what they're doing with their taxes.
Yeah, and if you say all of a sudden you've got a pang of guilt and you said, well, gee, I haven't filed taxes in the last 5 years. Well, you can come to us and we'll work out a plan so that we get them filed. If you owed a lot of money, for example, and had not filed your taxes, you would be considered not in compliance. And so any type of installment plan or offer or anything of that nature would probably be rejected because you're not in compliance. So the first thing is be in compliance today with what's due. We also concentrate a lot of work with small business owners. Small business owners, besides income tax, have payroll tax issues. And most people kind of forget, out of a paycheck we have deductions and we don't know really what that all means. Business owner takes money from us as employees as a fiduciary responsibility for the government and is supposed to turn it in. That's called the trust fund. The trust fund doesn't belong to the business owner. It belongs to you or me as taxpayers, and we've given it to our employer to simply remit it to the IRS or the state. Lots of times we see business owners who get tight from cash flow standpoint. They just say, well, here's some extra money if I just keep it. Well, that's the worst thing to do. And the enforcement activities, both by the state and the IRS, are really increasing on that to make sure that they collect those monies when they're due and get it done. Again, comments and recommendations that I give business owner, if you're really tight, at least remit the money that you took from your employee's paycheck.
So what would you say to the business owner who's a procrastinator? He's just put everything off to the last minute, and now it's coming down to the deadline, down to the wire. What would you say to someone like me who maybe is even considering doing QuickBooks or TurboTax or something messy like that?
Well, I would say that's probably better than doing nothing.
Okay.
But you should also remember that after you've filed a tax return, you can amend it.
Right.
You can make changes.
I see.
So you don't want to file a false tax return, but you want to say, okay, here's my W-2 income. I don't know what kind of deductions I have other than the standard deductions, and maybe it comes out and says, well, you owe some money. Then you say, but wait a minute, I have some business expenses, I have mortgage interest, things that are deductible. Well, then you can put that together, come to somebody like us and say, hey, could you help me file an amendment?
I see.
And the sooner you do it, the better off it is. But at least that's the way you're being compliant. You're filing your taxes on time, and it can be correct. I mean, we all make mistakes. We forget things, etc. And you can correct that and move forward in that regard.
Okay. And again, what's the best way to reach you guys?
Best way is to call us at 559-369-7691. Or you can go to our website, SBATaxHelp.com, and get a hold of us. We're there 6 days a week. So we'll be there when you do it, and we try to always answer our phones directly, so you won't get lost in voicemail somewhere.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I learned a lot about taxes today.
Thanks for having me.
And again, the deadline is October 17th. For those of you who have gotten the extension already, so you're going to want to pay close attention. Open those letters. Don't let that mail pile up, huh?
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much, George.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a
Take
pleasure.
care.
All right.